Dear viewers, thank you so much for joining me today. Oh my, we have the tower popping out. And I'm getting ready to do a political reading. We've got the tower flying out. Holy moly, okay. Yeah, and that's the tower to come. That's not the tower we have now. And the tower we have now, of course, is, well, Trump leaving NATO early, which I saw in the reading. It did show up, remember? And Macron showed up as strongly in that reading, and now we know why. So he did leave early in a snit because he was being talked about. Well, you know, he called a press conference rather than go into a meeting on time. He called a 40-minute press conference, and, you know, that's just ridiculous, but that's what he did. So it got mentioned. But maybe I want to read on that. How are things going to be between him and Trudeau? Because Trudeau was most prominent on that secret videotape, saying that the team's jaws just dropped when Trump announced that. So how is that going? All right, present, we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so that's a new goal. So they're trying to smooth it over. Trudeau's trying to smooth it over. Hierophant, in the heart of the matter, the government. Okay, so there's a concerted plan made to make sure that the relationship between the U.S. and Canada is buttressed, you know, in different ways and through different governmental officials. So this started this whole big plan, apparently. So, like, ambassadors are reaching out to ambassadors, and, you know, Canadian politicians are reaching out to U.S. politicians. Let's strengthen, let's buttress the relationship. Okay, so that's been busy, and it's starting. And we got the Wheel of Fortune above it all. Oh, it was just a matter of time. I'm hearing that's sort of faded. You could kind of predict that. It was just a matter of time before Trump would turn on Justin Trudeau. But he can't, but I am not getting that he's going to do anything awful, because, you know, Canada and the U.S. their interests are so aligned, and they are such close allies for so long. It's, again, one of those things where Trump would be frustrated that he couldn't cut through the ties that bind, you know, in the future between the two of them. Well, we have the White House. So Trudeau will come for a White House visit. Six of Cups. And there will be remember, we've been friends for a very long time. Our nations have. And Three of Wands. Oh, yeah, Trudeau is really waiting. Really thinking, I just have to deal with this for a little while. And then I can deal with a different president, probably. So that's what's going on there. So that's interesting. So they pull through this. But yeah, Trump is frustrated. He would love to retaliate. He's bringing up all kinds of stupid things. He really, really is. Like, how can I punish Canada? Seriously, he is. But he's being stopped at every turn. He's being stopped at every quarter. You can't do that. You can't do that, you know? And he doesn't want to have a debacle. Like, he has had to live with the decision he made about Chinese trade, commerce. He's had to live with that, and it's been damaging to his poll numbers, and he doesn't know how to get out of it. So there's that. He doesn't want to get involved in something like that again. So he's not going to retaliate in that way. He might say things, but that's it. Okay. So let us look at trade, because I do feel like it's an important time for trade, and I feel like, oh, we have the Eight of Cups just flew out. We like it when that flies out, because that can be Trump's leaving card. So let's talk about trade, though. I think a lot of people got together at Nato behind the scenes, world leaders. Trump was not at those tables, and talked a lot more about trade, because, you know, UK dealing with Brexit, you know, they have to really make the most of their time talking to other European leaders and Then we have the trade war with China that Trump started unnecessarily, and that has to be discussed. Well, as well as shared interests, regarding trade with China, how to govern that, how to, be careful with that, but without dampening the trade. So let me ask some questions, Spirit, about the future of trade and sort of what was discussed. We have the Queen of Swords. Oh, informant. Intel. I didn't realize that. Intel would have been shared. Of course, I suppose, at the NATO summit between world leaders. Intel, because we're talking about China, and people have been concerned about some of the technology, the security aspects of it, if so many of the cell phones are coming out of China and we know they can monitor, and just things like that. Security, intel. So that was discussed. And the world leaders shared information with each other. And what are you going to do? What are we going to do to both facilitate trade but be smart about it? Underneath it all, 3 of Swords. Okay, there was a fair amount of grousing then behind the scenes too about the difficulties and the Trump making global trade more difficult, and other conflicts between other nations making it more difficult, Brexit making it more difficult to anticipate, the stressors, the things that have come in and been a threat to the stock market, world economy. There was a lot of talk about this. All I kept hearing through this whole NATO summit was trade, 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 trade. I didn't look at the official docket. I'm sure they talk about that officially, but there was a lot behind the scenes. In the past, we have the 3 of Cups. Some celebration. I feel like there were world leaders that thought that they had made a breakthrough or had made an agreement, or they had a good plan at the last NATO summit, and it didn't really pan out like they thought. Because there's a couple of wild cards in there. And they're also talking about how do we talk to those world leaders about stabilizing the global economy, essentially. Above it all, we have the Knight of Swords. Oh, interesting. So the Knight of Swords is debate, fiery debate, angry debate, aggressive debate sometimes. So that's, these world leaders, they're not afraid to use the tools, you know what I mean? Like they'll be fiery when they talk to someone behind the scenes if that's going to be helpful, or they'll be conciliatory if that's going to be helpful. As I kind of meld with the energy of a lot of these people, like Trudeau, like Merkel, I realize that many of them are quite they're professional. They're professionals at manipulation, but in a fair sort of way. But it's like they have plans and they will do what it takes. They will have the conversation that it will take in the tone it will take to accomplish what they need to accomplish for their country. Stakes are high. Stakes were high going into this NATO summit. Yeah, well, and NATO is all about trade. So no wonder. No wonder. Now I feel silly saying it's trade. NATO is all about trade. But this one in particular, very, very heavy on solving trade troubles. Yeah, they didn't all get solved, but there was some progress made on a couple of fronts. I feel like Macron is very happy today. He's happy today because he had a good meeting. But I feel like he's not seeing the full picture. So he didn't have quite the win he thought he did. So strange. I just say these things. I don't know what it is regarding, exactly, but I just say these things hoping that the viewers out there probably can assign the meaning and say, okay, I know what that is. Trudeau, he's fine. I know he's not too worried about this, actually. He's like, oh, oops, but he's okay. Yeah, let's see about in the future. Emperor, rules and laws. They, yeah, there was some serious negotiation about, changing rules, changing laws, changing policies. Root of the matter, Page of Cups. The impulsivity, that's probably Trump, frankly. The impulsivity, I'll say what's on my mind to say, being led by the emotion and not the logic. Seven of Wands. Yeah, they're standing their ground. I feel like Trump too made some demands on some world leaders, thinking that they would go for it, and they're not. They're not. He's feeling very insulted, very frustrated, don't they know how great I am? Don't they know how big I am? Don't they know how big the U.S. is? That kind of thing. That's where he's at today. And outcome, we've got the Hermit. And I do think that's the U.S. is left out of a lot of these trade negotiations. I feel like there were some hopeful things happening that'll take time to really show in fruition. But, step forward. I do believe that the other world leaders are coming forward more and working together more. And so there's the growing pains of taking on that mantle of, we've got to fix this. We don't have this alliance as we did to count on. Not that they've ever counted on the U.S. to solve all their problems by any means. Oh, no. But there's just more of a sense of, not only do we have to take more initiative, but we have to take initiative to anticipate destructive things that this guy may do to trade, global trade, stock market, and have a plan in place for how to, they have to babysit the U.S. now. There you go. There you go. They have to babysit the U.S. now. So that's quite a shift. So there's lots of talk behind the scenes. And ultimately, you guys, it's good. Ultimately, you guys, that is a good thing, because these world leaders need to be talking more. So I just wanted to look in at that stuff. Oh, gosh. And we just don't know. Should we peek in and see what's going on with Trump today? Sure, why not? Maybe we'll do a quick one. Maybe we won't do the full Celtic cross. We'll just do a quick one. Yeah, his cognition is getting worse. He seems to be making more and more even more vague statements, and he's just deteriorating. Okay, so what's going on with Trump today? He's really kept out of a lot of decision making. He really is managed. Let's see, present, the devil. He's bedeviled. If he is indeed addicted to Adderall and stimulants of different types, Sudafed from other countries, even cocaine, people have said, he's definitely self-medicating today. We have the Ten of Wands. There's a number of burdens. He feels overburdened. But the Four of Coins, he's really focused on hanging on to his power, hanging on to his seat. That's what it is. In the future, victory, there is something that comes through for him, but it's a 6, so it's not a huge victory, but it's a victory. Page of Wands. He comes up with another dastardly goal. Hierophant, the government's working. Government is working, and impeachment hearings continue. Now, I want to know about those. Oh, yes. I wanted to know about Turley. That one professor, watching the impeachment hearings, wasn't it amazing to hear these law professors speak the truth in its starkest terms and just say it? Oh my gosh, it was like balm to the soul. After all the gaslighting that we've suffered, right? It was like, wow, thank goodness. It was a soothing salve. But now there was one guy, the guy that the Republicans called complete puzzle. saying that this isn't, you know, my dog's angry. Didn't he say his dog was angry? Oh my gosh. So that's why we shouldn't move forward with an impeachment, because his dog is angry. Trouble, division, all these things. Not the time to do it now, or not in this way, or all these kinds of things. And he'd said very much so the opposite. Oh yeah, you don't want to cast doubt on the presidency considering future presidencies. Said the exact opposite when it was time to impeach Clinton. He said, well, if we let this president get away with it, what are we going to have in the future? So, and apparently he's a Democrat. Said he's a Democrat. Said he did not vote for Trump. Okay. So what is his deal? Let's look. Oh, I didn't expect that one. 8 of Swords. Oh, so he felt trapped. He felt like he couldn't not do that. He's owned. Somehow he's owned. And he is just speaking out of turn. I mean, he's not speaking what he thinks. Tower. Oh my gosh. So when he got this request to appear, he didn't feel like it was a request. He felt like he had to. They have something on him. Above it all, 8 of Cups. He would lose his position. He would have to leave. They have stuff on him. Darn. Oh wow. I thought maybe they paid him off, but I didn't expect to see that they have stuff on him. In the future, we have the 3 of Rods. Okay. He's watching and waiting. What ship's going to come in? Actually, there is a reward for him then in this. It won't be like cash in hand. It'll be some sort of new position, honor, something. Knight of Wands. He's just supposed to delay things. Again, with that delaying. And many deep secrets. Okay, he's not done. They will call upon him again. There are many deep mysteries. They've got dirt on him. When he's asked to, like, he'll be asked to get on Fox News and stuff like that. And he'll go. Interesting. So there we go. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I mean, I thought, because I've been shocked at what people are willing to do for money, for greed, and there are a lot of people where they're not being blackmailed, they're not being threatened. There's a lot of people in Washington, they just want the money. But I thought maybe he was one of those, but it looks like they have stuff on him. And it's been for quite a while too, right? Okay, very interesting. All right, let me ask about what effect does this have? That was powerful testimony by those law professors. What effect does it have? We have the Hanged Man. Okay, well, there's some delay, but people are looking at things from a different perspective. We've got the Star card. It makes people more hopeful, like, okay, somebody spoke the truth. This is exactly what the Founding Fathers would have been, we're talking about when they introduced the impeachment clause. And we have the 7 of Coins. Well, I think that maybe it's not quite enough, but there's an opportunity given. There's that Ace of Wands again. So I kind of think that this is still about Trump being given an opportunity to resign. That's still there, but yet we're not at quite enough yet, apparently, for some reason. But look at the future. We've got the Death card again. So this is, and I asked, what effect does this have? So, why? That Death card is sometimes like, I mean, something's ended inside. It's a shift. It's a seeing things from another perspective. So some people did hear this. There are some of Trump's base that heard this. More so than that, there are some that, were undecideds that heard this and knew he's done. I'm done. There's nothing else to say. Wrong is wrong, a crime is a crime, bribery is bribery. There's nothing else to say. Okay, so there's a lot more of that sense. This settled some people's minds, so it was definitely worth doing. Oh, and it did feel like a shift in the energy, didn't it? To get the truth out there. You know, it's not just one person debating another. It's let's hammer at the truth. Let's tell the whole story. Let's talk about the repercussions of this kind of behavior by a president. Let's talk about our history as a democracy. They had to teach the American public, and they did. And 3 of coins. A lot of attorneys getting involved, right? A lot of consultation. There will be more of this, where law professors and attorneys and good legal minds are going to be consulted. And there's another group statement coming out. There's another group letter coming out by a group of attorneys, judges. Maybe not judges, but you know, I mean, they're high-level attorneys condemning this or agreeing with the law professors. And we have the 2 of coins. Yeah. So there we go. That's about balance. The 2 parties we're still having the Republican Party disagreeing. You know, we're still, for a little while. Okay, well, that's really interesting. I can't wait to hear more. I don't know. Are we going to hear more from those law professors or some like them? Are the Dems going to learn a little bit about what kind of testimony they need out there in the public eye? We have the 4 of Wands and the Emperor. There is going to be more discussion about the law. Okay, this helped to light a fire for the American people because they want to know. Well, what is were these people right? Were these people right in their interpretation of the law? So that'll be good. That's a good thing. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. We'll keep on watching and keep on hoping. That's the word. Thank you. Bye-bye.